Hello again. Welcome to another Verbling class. My name is Hamish, and in this class we are going to practice some TOEFL speaking questions. In particular, we're going to look at question 2. And in question 2, you're always given a choice, and when you're giving your answer, you must always choose between option A or option B. These are still, like question 1, like the questions we looked at yesterday, these are still very much everyday questions, everyday choices, perhaps between eating out in a restaurant or eating at home, between enjoying a book or watching a movie. So these aren't things that you need. Oh, let me take some of that sound down for a second there, Ezekiel. Oh, I'll try that again. There we go. Just until we get our sound back on. And let me fix my camera as well. 1 second. That's all right, Ezekiel, no problem at all. There we go. I'm back. Phew. Well, let me say hello to a couple of the students in the class. And in fact, yes, let me say hello to, because you think you were first, let me say hello. Ezekiel, hello, how are you?
Hi, Hamish. How are you? Thank you very much. I'm fine.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. I'm good too. Ezekiel, tell me, where are you from?
I'm from Argentina.
Argentina, very nice. And it looks sunny and bright in Argentina. How's the weather with you today?
No, it's so cold today. Yes. The weather is crazy here. I don't know why, but I think that it's a global problem.
Oh, true. Yes, interesting weather all over the world. Well, you can have some of my my heat if you like. It's too warm for me. You're in Tennessee. So good to meet you.
Where do you live?
I live in Tennessee, which is in the south of the United States. So it's getting warm. It's getting warmer. Yeah, it's not July yet, but it's definitely getting there. Yeah. Great to meet you. Let me say hello to everyone else, and we will get started here. Let me see. Hello and good morning. Hello again to Igor. Hello, Igor.
Yeah. Hi, Hamish. How are you?
I'm very good, and welcome back to class. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you.
I'm glad to hear it. I look forward to practicing with you today some of these TOEFL questions. Let me say hello to Vincenzo. Hello, Vincenzo. How are you? Vincenzo, how are you today? Oh, I need to unmute that microphone for us. Oh, I can't hear you yet. Let me put that message in the board there. Yeah, still can't hear you. Okay, so we're gonna start our Oh, we lost him. Okay, we're going to start our class. We're gonna look at these TOEFL practice questions, and I want to say to everybody, these are great questions if you're looking to prepare for the TOEFL exam, and you might need a TOEFL score if you want to study abroad in a North American university or college, for example, or you might need it if you want to work in a certain profession, like a pharmacist, or really some of these professional jobs. Again, if you want to get that visa to work in the United States, for example, they will require a TOEFL score, and that TOEFL exam is made up of reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So here are some of those speaking questions you get in the speaking section of the TOEFL. It's not the only reason to practice these questions. These are everyday questions. These are questions you might well get. In fact, I promise you'll get questions like these if you're speaking with native English speakers. So good to practice, whether you're preparing for the TOEFL or whether you just want to practice and improve your confidence and your ability to think quickly and to answer questions in English as well. And these are questions really about you, about yourself. No one else can answer them. So you don't need to be an expert, an academic expert in any subject. These are not academic questions. They might be about studying, but again, about your personal choice. So with questions like these, we give a clear answer, we make a clear choice between one option and another. There's not a correct answer. There's only a clear answer with good reasons to explain the choice you're making. Okay, there we go. Gents, I'm getting some noise from that microphone, so I'm just going to mute that for a second. Let's take a look at a question so I can give you an example. Ah, yes, okay. Here's a classic TOEFL question. I'm going to add this question to the Verbling chat. Here we go. All right, I've put the question in the Verbling chat. Ezekiel, can you read that question out loud for us, please?
Okay. Some people prefer to live in a small town. Others prefer to live in a big city. Which place would you prefer to live in?
Thank you. Good reading. I appreciate that. So there's an example question, a very typical question of the things you might get asked in question 2 of the TOEFL speaking section. What do we think? I mean, we have to make a choice, right, between small town, big city. Is there a correct answer here? Is small town better than big city? What do you all think about that?
In my case?
Sure.
Okay, I think that living in a big city will be better.
Okay, so we make a personal choice, right? So some people like you, I mean, I think I would say the same. I do prefer to live in a big city, or at least very near to a big city. Of course, other people would like the opposite, and neither is the wrong answer. In fact, neither is the right answer. The only correct answer is making a clear choice in this test. We make a clear choice, and then we explain why. So let's say we're going with a big city. A question for all of you: what are some good reasons for living in a big city?
Job opportunities, infrastructure, good infrastructure, more job opportunities.
Tell me more. What is infrastructure? What's that?
These all things that help us to live, like good roads for a better life, good roads, developed communications, and water, accessibility. How can I say accessibility or what?
You can say accessibility. Oh, well, that's a good question. I suppose a good water system. A good water service.
Yes, system developed, and electricity.
Absolutely. Okay, so all those things. We're living in a big city. We're thinking, yes, we're going to. We should expect access to all those things that a big city should offer us. Okay, and of course, sorry, I forgot about your job opportunities as well.
Yeah, more job opportunities.
So there's a couple of big reasons we can talk about the infrastructure, and of course, if we give that as a reason for preferring to live in a big city, we need to give some details, and those details, just as you said, Igor, could be about the roads, communications, water, electricity, all those good things. And the second reason absolutely could be, well, there's more jobs, there's more opportunity for me to do the work that I want to do, just because it's a bigger city. There are more employers, there are more customers perhaps for the service that I want to provide, or the product that I want to sell. So these are some good examples. Is there a third thing, a third reason for preferring to live in a big city?
I think that you have more entertainment opportunities, like going to the cinema or going to, I don't know if gigs. How do you say concerts?
Concerts, sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we could say gigs as well. And gigs is maybe a less formal way to say a concert, but very acceptable, very well understood. In the UK or the United States, they'll know what a gig is. Absolutely.
Great.
So and also entertainment, right? So for example, what other entertainment is there in a big city?
Going to the cinema, maybe. Going to shopping too, because in a little town you don't have shoppings or smalls. almost.
Theater. Also theater.
Oh yeah, okay. So we've got and in British English we'll have the cinema or the theater. In American English we have the movie theater or just the theater.
So one word, more places where you can spend your money.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes that's a bad thing. Most of the time I think it's probably a reason why some people do prefer to live in a city. So because just more stuff to do. A lot of people would feel that way. Of course, and hey, I think we've got three very strong.
There is. Yes.
I'm sorry?
There is another opportunity. There is an opportunity to buy what you need. That's a possibility that you have in a big city because you can find the things you want. This is not possible in a little center. So you can, if you want to buy furniture, if you want to buy electronics, if you want to buy other things that you can't find in a little city.
In one word, is a larger variety of products and services.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, so well, you guys are too good. So we have all those things. We have more jobs, better infrastructure about the transport and the utilities like water and electricity, better shopping, more things to do. So hey, four reasons. And in an answer like this, we can give 2 or 3 of those reasons with those details. For example, if our reason is more entertainment, then yes, we can say like going to the movie theater or going to the theater, watching some dance, or enjoying a movie or the cinema. So we can give those details, and that's going to help our answer a lot. And that could be the answer. We could choose, of course, to say, oh, well, I prefer to live in a big city, and for these reasons, 2 or 3 reasons with those details. Of course, someone else is going to prefer to live in a small town. So I'm interested. What advantages can we talk about to live in a small town?
But perhaps one of the advantages is not to have such noises that you can find in a big city. Noises with cars, noises with person. If you love loneliness, perhaps it's better to live in a little center, where you can find yourself with your life without the noises, without confusion. I think this is the better way to live in a
less stressful life.
Yeah. Okay. So let's cover 2 of those points. I mean the first one was, well, it can be quieter, absolutely. So less traffic noise, less people noise as well. Yeah. And we can talk about the pleasure, the advantage of being alone. And let's be careful with our vocabulary here, because we can talk about being lonely, and that's in a negative sense. We can talk about being alone, and alone can be positive or negative. We can choose to be alone, and we can enjoy the solitude of being by ourselves or being away from a lot of people.
Depends on you. It depends on you.
Absolutely. So if we mean it in a positive way, I think I would put solitude, perhaps peace. Yeah, peace and solitude. Less noise and being by ourselves.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Excuse me, teacher. Perhaps there are moments that you prefer to live in a big city, and other moments when you prefer to live in a little city. When you want to stay alone with yourself, I think that you have to find another place, to live. Another place to live that is not that in a big city.
No, that's very true. And of course, at different stages in our life, perhaps. I know, for me as a younger person, I very much preferred the bigger city. But now, I'm getting older, and maybe I'm thinking, oh yes, a little bit of peace and quiet, maybe a slightly slower lifestyle. Maybe that would suit me better. And it depends,
Perhaps,
of course. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps you want to reflect. Reflect.
I think I should. I really should reflect. I think sometimes. So exactly, and of course, in a natural conversation, we can talk about all of these things. My advice to you guys, if you want to take the TOEFL exam, you're going to pick one, because when we look at that task, let me see if I'm going to put it back in there again. Which place would you prefer to live in? So they want us to make a choice. If outside of the TOEFL, we can talk about all of this stuff, and it's interesting to talk about it and to listen about it as well. In the TOEFL exam, we're going to choose one, and we're going to focus on that, just as we did a few moments ago, thinking about the advantages of a big city. That could be our answer, 2 or 3 things. Or if we want to speak about, if we want to say, well, we prefer the small town, we can go for that instead. Let's not talk about both in a TOEFL answer, because 45 seconds for that answer. We don't have time, and the task is to express that preference. So yes, in real life, of course, I mean, we can all, of course, we can think of reasons to live in both places, but this TOEFL question, a little bit artificial, and the task is to choose one. So we'll choose one, and we'll give the reasons for that.
Okay, I know.
And that's fine. And of course, while we're speaking here in class, I want to hear about both, because I want to hear you talk about both. Of course, I do. I think we're ready to practice this question. We have a lot of good examples there on the VerbLink chat. You've already given me, all of you, some great language, some great details and descriptions. So I'm going to give you 15 seconds to think about your answer, and then I'm going to ask each of you to give me an answer. So 15 seconds to... Okay, 15 seconds to prepare, 45 seconds to speak. So let me give all of you 15 seconds to think about your answer to this question, and then we'll practice with each of you, okay? Here's 15 seconds to think about your answer right now. Okay, there we go. Right, so please, each of you, I want to give you 45 seconds, so not a lot of time, and I want to hear a clear choice, and I want to hear 2 or 3 reasons why you prefer. You can choose big city, small town, doesn't matter. Whichever one you want to practice is the one you should choose, I think. Let me start with Ezekiel. Ezekiel, are you ready to practice with us?
Okay, I will try.
Fabulous. Okay, I'm going to time you. I won't be that strict today, okay? But around 45 seconds or that kind of thing, okay? So when you're ready, please give us your answer.
Okay, if I could choose a place to live, I would prefer to live in a big city for the next 3 reasons. The first one is entertainment opportunities. In a big city, you can go to the cinema, or you can go to a theater, or maybe to a gig, and you have more opportunities to have entertainment. The second one is job opportunities. In a big city, there are more companies and more factories, and you will be able to find job opportunities. And the last one is civil infrastructure, transport infrastructure, where you can find different ways of transporting the city. For all of those reasons, I would choose to live in a big city.
Okay. What do you think? Is that an easy question for you? What do you think about your answer, Ezekiel?
I think that it was easy. I get blocked. I stuck in the job in the infrastructure when I said infrastructure.
Sure. Okay.
Because I lost the words, the correct words. But I think that it was clear. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You are the teacher.
I know, crazy. But I always like to hear what the student thinks as well. Well, I'm going to agree with you. I thought it was a clear answer. You gave 3 clear reasons, absolutely. So entertainment. You gave those examples of cinema, theater, gigs. A very good thing in your answer, and I want all of us listening to that answer. I hope we all picked up on that very clear structure to your answer. You said, okay, well, here's my choice, here's my preference, big city, for 3 reasons. 1, 2, 3. And for those English ears of the TOEFL examiner, now he or she is very grateful, because that makes it very easy for he or she to follow your answer.
Right.
And the easier it is to follow, that's really going to help your score in a TOEFL exam as well. So I always recommend to my students, yes, make the structure clear. Let them know how many reasons you're going to give. And then, yes, first, second, third, or 1, 2, 3, or first, second, and finally, yes, make that clear. And that's really going to help them. That's what we're used to. Yes, 3 clear reasons: entertainment, job opportunities, infrastructure. I think to make this answer even better, give us one more detail about the transport. For example, buses, trains, taxis, trams.
Yes, I was afraid about the time.
Oh, I know, absolutely. And so that's part of the practice, is to get even better at the timing. The timing was pretty good. But you're right. If we can just add that extra detail, you're looking at that would be a very good answer.
Great.
Absolutely. So, nice one. Good first example, Ezekiel. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Hamish.
No problem at all. Let me come to Igor now. Igor, are you ready to practice this one with us? All right, go ahead.
Okay. 1 second. So I prefer to live in a big city, because in big city I have more opportunity for entertainment, like music, cinema, theater, go shopping every day. Also in big city I have opportunities, more job opportunities. I can find easier job, a good job with a higher salary, and it's easier to work there. Also, it's in big city we can have opportunity to use that transportation, high quality transportation, and I can arrive from point A to point B very fast. And in a big city we have also a higher quality of life. Thank you.
Okay. Again, some good details, and like with every student, I encourage all of you to concentrate on that structure, to think, okay, have I got 2 big reasons or 3 slightly smaller reasons? Either way, let's make this as clear as possible. And that's why we practice, of course, to improve our speaking, to improve our use of vocabulary, to improve our pronunciation, but in particular for an exam like the TOEFL, let's make the structure, the story that we're telling in our answer as clear as possible. And we can do that with, for example, or on the other hand, or but, or however. And of course, just as we've heard already today, that first, second, and finally, or as a result. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What word we can instead of also? Because I repeated 2 or 3 times it was also.
We can use also. We can use as well. Yeah.
And another word.
I can't think of another one right now, I must admit. Also and as well are fine. I mean, because if you're adding on things like that. But I think also, you see, I do it myself. I think numbering our examples or numbering our reasons is just a very clear way to do that. Because these words, I would call them signposts, like as if you were driving along the road and you see, okay, that's where he's going. This is when you give an answer like this, and when you use also and as well for example, first, second, third. These are signposts to your listener. It lets you know, it lets them know where you're going. So, and these words, they're not advanced. Oh, Jessica, let me just mute the shuffling there for a sec. These are not advanced English words. They're simple English words, widely understood, and once you get the practice of using them, it will always help the structure of your answer, either in the TOEFL exam or really in any conversation. We can still use these words. We use them as well, also, just like you say.
The problem that I know only also. I know only also what. So this is the problem. My problem.
But let's not. We don't have to worry too much about repeating these kinds of words because they're just signposts. In terms of the vocabulary, the descriptive vocabulary, the interesting vocabulary, these are going to be the words we use to explain our reasons. Okay, so first, second, third, we could say that in every answer we give in the TOEFL exam, if you like, and you know that we don't have to worry too much about that. What's much more interesting is the words we use to describe a meal that we enjoy, our favorite food, our favorite object, or where we like to go on the weekend. How do we paint a picture of this place or this food or this object? So that's the vocabulary we're interested in to make it interesting, to make it clear and appropriate, and of course easy to understand as well for the listener, and in this case for the examiner. Because, and this is about pronunciation and about good word choice and about giving signposts, because if the examiner, and you won't see the examiner in the TOEFL exam because they listen to a recording, so you've left the building, you've gone home and gone, oh thank goodness I finished. The examiner, and two of them will listen to the recording, and of course if they're listening like that and trying to understand, then that's a problem. If they're listening like this, oh, yeah, oh, perfectly clear, this is really going to help your score. So our objective is to help the examiner and make sure they don't have to work too hard. We're not trying to tire them out. So the easier it is for them to hear a direct answer to the question, the better our score is going to be. Yeah, and part of that is about signposts. Part of that is about the alsos and as wells. So if you have one that you can use in the right context, go for it. Use that. If you want to number your examples, go for it. Do that as well, because it just makes it clearer and easier to understand. Yeah. Vincenzo, please. Are you ready to practice this question with us? Vincenzo, are you there with us?
Okay, do you hear me?
I do. Please go ahead.
Yes, I prefer to live in a big city for three main reasons. The first is that you can have many services like cinema, theater, shopping, transport, and others. The second is that you can communicate with a lot of people. And third and last one is big city is better because you can have many opportunities to find a job. In this case, not for me because I'm retired, but for my daughter that is looking for a job.
Mm-hmm. Okay, nice one. Again, so nice. Yeah, you're numbering the examples, or numbering the reasons rather, and you're making that in a very clear way. You're giving some examples there as well, some details.
In the way you want, in the way you like.
Exactly. So thank you so much for. But I promise you that this is about what the TOEFL exam, what it requires from us. So I'm always going to encourage students to do things that is going to, of course, that are going to increase their score.
Perhaps, excuse me, teacher. Perhaps I can summarize because I can say people to communicate to, or no, something very very short, no? Services you can find, people to communicate, and opportunities or job opportunities. It's very very short.
Yeah, absolutely.
In this way. Can I do so? Can I answer in this way?
Well, no, you've got 45 seconds, so you need to use that time, yeah. And you also want to use sentences that are as full and natural as possible. So okay. So you don't have time to say very much, but when you are speaking in an exam like this, let's be as natural as possible. Let's use those full sentences. I understand the point, Vincenzo. It's a good question. But yes, it'd be better to speak in full natural sentences and say less than try to give a lot of details.
Yes, because you English, perhaps you love to make short sentences.
Sometimes.
No? Or not.
It depends.
Too short.
Yeah. It depends on the situation, I think. But in the TOEFL exam, they would say, steady with that note.
Excuse me.
That's okay. Let me.
It's my dog.
I think that English allows you to speak in a short way, because sometimes you have words that have a very wide meaning. And in Italian, like Vincenzo, and in Spanish, like me, we have to use more words, and it's scientific demonstrated, I think, because we are Latins, and Spanish is a Latin language, and Italian too, and you are, I don't know, Anglo-Saxon is the English. I don't know, is Anglo-Saxon in English?
Saxon, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
And you have to, it's more easier, I think, find a word for you to explain a big thing.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. I think there's some truth in that. Of course, even with the English language, we still steal words from other languages, because there is no word to describe it in English. So there are, of course, words we've taken from French and Spanish and Italian and German and Russian to describe things, because we just don't have a word. So we take it from the other language. But I take your point. I think perhaps English can be a little tighter. Yes, a little shorter, perhaps sometimes. Let's practice with another question. Let me see now. Oh, yes, okay. I'm going to put this question in the chat box again. Let's take a look at it. Let's talk about it, and then we can practice it. Okay, here we go. I am going to ask Igor. Igor, please, can you read that question out loud for us?
Yeah, would you prefer to run your own private business or work for a large company with many employees?
Thank you. Good reading. Okay. So there's the question. And again, this is question 2. So they're looking for a clear choice. They want a preference, either your own business or a large company. Now, I'm confident we can think of good reasons and advantages and disadvantages to doing both. But let's start with the large private. Let's start with your own business. Have a think about that and tell me what are the good reasons? What are the advantages to running your own business?
The first one, I think, that is you can manage your own time and your own schedule. The second one maybe is that you can apply all your creativity to create a new business, and maybe in a company you can apply your creativity because it's like already done. Sometimes. And there are companies that allows you to be creative, but others no.
Okay, those are two very nice reasons. Any other reasons? Any other advantages to running your own business?
More money. Okay.
Maybe more money, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
so
yes,
if
maybe
you
not.
are owner, you definitely will have more money than to work in the company.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so we have three strong reasons, right? And of course, if we're giving those answers in our TOEFL response, we'll need to give those details about, well, what are we being creative about? Why is it good to manage our own time? What are we going to do with the time we've saved, or the other time? Is this about family responsibilities? Is this about our social life? About our leisure time, or do we just like to work at, get up very early and start work at a different time?
But it depends on what type of business you have, because
sure.
Your own time you maybe do not have you may do not have time, because you may run a business and from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m.
Exactly. No, absolutely right. Absolutely right. So perhaps managing the time of your private business is, well, I'm going to work all day. I'm not going to stop work because, just because the boss tells me to, because, well, you'll be the boss, right? You are your own boss as a self-employed, as your own business. So perhaps another advantage. And I think of course we're covering these things and these reasons, but maybe the biggest reason is, well, you're in charge. Right, this is up to you. Some very nice reasons for running your own business. What about the advantages to working for a large company?
Less stressful work. Less responsibility.
Less responsibility. Okay. That's a precise work to do.
Less responsibility.
Precise work to do.
You have only one type of work to do. One type. Not a lot of work from a lot of domains to manage.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. So perhaps we can say a specialized role.
Yes. Maybe you can learn from the experience of a big company.
Nice, absolutely.
You don't have problem about the society, about the developing of the society.
Tell me more about that, Vincenzo. I'm not sure what that is.
You don't have to increase or to worry about the dimension of your society. You do not have a problem about market, because you are only an employee of that society.
Oh, I see. Okay, so in terms of as you say, the market or the economy, there's less risk. Absolutely, perhaps less reward, but less risk.
Yes,
as well.
Perhaps we have always said less risk. Risks.
Okay. All right, we have some good reasons for the large company as well. That's interesting. I wonder which one you're going to choose in your answer. This is
that is what all the people in Italy want to do. They want to have a normal work. That's the way they want to work. Like an employee in a society. They are not used to risk. Perhaps there is not a society in this way.
It's interesting. You're right. There are international differences here, and in the United States, it feels like everybody wants to work for themselves. So
in Italy, they don't want to change work. They don't want to change work continuously.
Mm-hmm.
But perhaps in America it's different in this way. Do you agree?
I think a lot of people want to start their own business. They want to be independent in the United States. They want to look after themselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's so different from Europe, I think. Yeah. But again, interesting because yeah.
But they are also changing work. They are also changing, going to change work continuously in America. That's not the same in Italy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you agree? Yes.
I think I don't know. I can't compare the two. I do see a lot of people, yes, changing their jobs here in the United States. And the truth is, I think in most countries in the world, when we have to change, if we're forced to change, that can make us feel quite fearful or apprehensive or anxious. But if we take charge of change, if we decide to change, that's less, certainly for me, that's less scary. If it's my choice to change my job, for example, I'm quite happy with that.
Yes, but the American is a people of pioneers.
Yeah. That's the culture. Not everybody, but there are lots of people wanting to do their own thing. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
They have this in their blood.
Maybe. I hope so, because it's that we need some more of that, I think.
Okay.
But so interesting. Let's practice this one, and I'll be listening, of course, as always, with question 2. When I listen to your practice, yes, absolutely, I'm listening for clear pronunciation. I'm listening for a natural talking speed. I'm listening for good word choice or appropriate vocabulary, and like we talked about before, I'm listening for that clear structure, maybe first, second, third, something like that. But with question 2 in particular, I'm listening for a clear choice between the two choices, and I'm listening for why. This is my choice, and here are my reasons why. Yeah, and that's going to add up to a good answer if you can give them a clear reason, a clear choice rather, and explain your reasons clearly and with details as well. Yeah, there's no correct answer with your own company, your own business or a large company, but there is a clear choice to make, and very important to explain why as well. Let's do the same running order as last time. Ezekiel, are you ready to practice with us?
Okay, let's go.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. If I could choose to run my own company or work for a large company, I would choose run my own company. For many reasons. First one, time management. You can manage your own schedule and organize your life. The second one is you can apply creativity to create your own business and do whatever you like. To sum up, if I can choose one of these options, I will run my own business and challenge myself.
Okay. Good talking speed, good pronunciation. I think I heard every single word you gave me there, Ezekiel, in your answer. These are good things. Makes it easier for the examiner to follow your response. You give 2 reasons, and the first one, yes, time management, and you talk about managing your schedule and your life as well, and I think that's an important detail to give. With the second one, you talk about applying creativity. I think I think the examiner is listening and waiting for an example. So what example could you give for creativity? What sort of thing are you going to be creative about?
Maybe I said that you can do whatever you like, because for example, if you like sports and you love sports, you can do a business related to sports, and you can apply all your creativity and your experience in sports for this kind of business.
Okay, and I think that's a really good reason for doing for making your own business. It sounds like a slightly different reason. So and let me write that down in because it's a valid reason. It's a great reason. But in terms of thinking, yes, well, if I like sports, that can be my business. I can and because it sounds to me like I can follow my passion.
But if you like sports, you can go and work in a company that works in. And if you want to be creative in a company, it's not a problem. You write all down, or you go on the meeting and you show your creativity, and they will pay you more only if you would have. Usually, people do not have this creativity. They do not have from the nature. I mean, and they cannot offer something new. Yeah, if they would have, all companies would be very happy to take this creativity, and they would fight for this person to.
That's a very interesting idea, and Igor, you're right. I mean, you're right. Of course, that there are options, there are opportunities to be creative, working for yourself and working for a large company as well. So perhaps to be really clear, we could talk about creative freedom, because if we work for ourselves, we do what we want and we succeed or we fail, but that's down to us. If we work for a large company, we still need to, most of the time, we still need to follow the direction that's coming down from a senior manager or a team leader, for example.
But for example, if you have an idea and you propose this idea to your supervisor, manager, believe me, if your idea is brilliant, they would apply your idea in 99%. But if they do not apply, it's not so good idea.
Maybe
they do not work stupid person. They do not work stupid person. I think in all companies. For example, if I would have for Verbling an idea, yeah, and I would write this idea to their email support, they would apply to my idea if it would be a real idea. But
I hope they would. Ezekiel, what do you think of that?
Yes, I said that I don't agree, because some companies don't allow you to be creative. I don't know why, because maybe some cultural thing, but it's not in every company accepted being creative. For example, Google maybe allows you to be creative, but in an old company, it happens to me in my oldest work, that if you are creative, you are not well received.
And that's I must be honest, that is my experience as well. Some companies absolutely they encourage and they will reward creativity. Other companies they kind of squash it down quite a lot, and even a good idea might not be recognized. And it's interesting. You know, we have different experiences, so we're going to have different opinions, and that's what makes it interesting. Igor, you're up next. Would you like to practice this question? Oh, I lost you.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, good, you're there. I thought I lost you there for a second.
No. I just limited myself.
Please go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, 1 second. Some people no. Would you prefer to run your own private business or own large company? Yeah. So, okay. I would prefer to work in a large company, because in a large company you have less responsibilities. You work only for your job position, and you work from hour to hour. You do your job, and they pay you money that you have an agreement. Also, in a large company, all work that you do is written in agreement, and you know what you need to do, and you do only that work. And the third reason is that in a company, in a large company, you work What is the third reason? Third reason, I forgot. The third reason is that in a large company you have more creativity opportunities. If you have a real idea, a good idea, it's more chances that your idea would be realized in that company, because they have resources, they have money, they have all kind of sources to realize this idea. So if I would have a great idea, they would realize, and I would be satisfied. Thank you.
No, thank you. That last reason, of course, that was a brand new one. We hadn't talked about that one before, so let me put that in there. We as you say, in a large company, I think that's a very interesting point. And of course, for example, if you work for the government, say, a national government, they can have tremendous resources and tremendous influence, and maybe not in the current economic situation, but they can sometimes they can take risks. They can afford to do things that, of course, as an individual, we could never afford to do that, or never afford to devote the time to it. But if you work
Sorry,
for
I have
that,
a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Word tremendous, yeah, and what we can use as a description word, and what situation for where we can apply this word?
Tremendous.
Yeah.
Tremendous. It can mean two things, and I must admit I'm using my British English here with tremendous. Tremendous can mean very good. So you're watching a game of tennis, and or any sport, and someone does something very good. We can say, oh, tremendous stuff. So it can be used to give good feedback. Maybe you gave a tremendous answer just then, right? So that meaning very good. Second meaning, just a big number, a large quantity, right? So maybe I have 3 cats, so yesterday I had to buy a tremendous amount of cat food because they're so hungry every day. So it's either very good or it's a lot of. In American English, maybe you'll hear tremendous to mean a large quantity. They don't tend to use it to mean very good in American English. It's just not one of the words.
Can you say you gave us a tremendous answer, or it's a little bit awkward to say something like that?
It's fine. It sounds like me. It sounds quite British. Nothing wrong with sounding British, but it might sound a little strange. American ears, they'll understand what you mean, right? They won't be confused. They just use it a lot less. That's all. So it sounds a little British to me, but they'll understand. The meaning is clear. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, sure. You gave a tremendous answer. That sounds good. It sounds good. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Absolutely. I caught myself with some British English. That doesn't happen all the time. But I really liked your structure there. I go ahead and talk about the 3 reasons. I know you were working hard to think, third reason, but you kept going, and that's essential, right? Of course, this is live speaking with a TOEFL exam or in a conversation. We're talking, we're thinking as we talk, and with English as a second language, yeah, absolutely. That makes it even more challenging. So we're going to make mistakes. No one in the TOEFL exam can give a perfect answer. No one speaking English live without a script is going to give a perfect answer. So maybe a little hesitation, an or a stutter. Maybe we use the wrong word or the wrong tense. But you see. But
so if I would use the wrong tense, what will be? What can be?
Do you want an example, or do you want the result?
No. If I would say instead, I have been, I did, or something like that, or no, I haven't. Instead, I haven't. I didn't. I would say, yeah, these kind of things.
If you do that, the important part of the exam is that they are testing your communicative ability. So if you make a grammatical error, use the wrong verb tense, use the wrong noun, maybe the syntax or the sentence order is a little jumbled. If we can still understand your meaning, it's pretty much okay. You can make a few. You can make a small number of grammatical mistakes and still get a top score in this question, right? It's not something we're aiming for. We're aiming for excellence. Of course we are. But you can make some mistakes, right? Because everyone does. In native English speakers, I'll make mistakes speaking live. That's a natural thing. But if the mistakes we make are more serious, and if they interfere with understanding, as in we make a mistake with verb tense or word choice, and the listener's thinking, I don't know what they mean, well, then of course then we have a problem. So a more serious mistake that leaves the listener confused, well, that's going to affect your score, because it means we don't know, we can't hear the example, or the choice isn't clear because of the language problems there.
So if I would say one wrong verb tense, they wouldn't count this as an error, and they would can have 4 score for that.
Yeah, if that's the only mistake you make, and if they still know what you're talking about, sure, it's fine. Yeah.
But if 2 or 3 verb tense incorrect,
that might be a problem. Yeah.
Okay.
But so and I say that because if you're in the middle of an answer and you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world, right? The most important thing is to keep going. And if you recognize that you make a mistake in English in your answer, and if you can correct it quickly, go ahead and correct it. We're not, if when we're taking this test, we're not going to think, oh, well, maybe they didn't notice. Of course they notice. They're paid to notice, right? So we can't just run ahead. If we can make a correction, as you say, if we're saying, oh, well, I didn't, I mean I haven't, that's fine, because it shows you're self-aware of the language you're using. It shows you're confident enough to just take a short moment, make the correction, and go on. Because again, that's a native English speaker. Of course, that's what they would do. They wouldn't ignore it. They'd, oh, okay, no, I meant this, or even just to say, oh, what's the word? Oh, yes, and go ahead and give that word, or choose a different word. Because sometimes maybe we'll forget a piece of vocabulary. If we can find another way, if we have a plan B to get to explain something, to explain an idea, all the better. It demonstrates to the TOEFL examiner that you have the communicative ability, that you understand what you're saying, and even if you make a mistake, which everyone does, you can make the correction. So don't be afraid of correcting yourself. Of course, we only have 45 seconds, but if it's a little mistake that you can, I mean this, go ahead and do that. The most important thing, of course, is to keep going and not to lose your confidence just because of one little thing, because there's no need to lose confidence. And a confident speaker, they hear it, right? They're not going to see you take this test. They're listening to a recording. So the more confident you are, the better the sound in your throat is. The more confident you are, the better the volume, the clearer the language, and the more confident you are, the more confident you sound, and the more confident a speaker the examiner thinks you are. Yeah, because you sound confident, right? So even if you're feeling nervous with an exam like this, pretend you're not nervous. Act like you're confident, and that can help reduce those nerves as well. I'm kind of talking about something you didn't ask about there, so sorry about that. But yeah, we have 2 minutes. I want to add some links in here while we're doing this. First one is my Facebook page. Okay, so please follow me on Verbling. Please follow me on Facebook, and I'll let you know the other things that I'm getting up to, and the other classes I'm doing here on Verbling. I have one more TOEFL class this week, which is on Friday at the same time, and we are going to focus on idioms in that class. It's not necessary to use idioms. It's not essential to use idiomatic language in the TOEFL speaking, but we must recognize them. And the more we can understand in terms of maybe the listening, but definitely the reading, You're going to see some idioms in the reading passages of the TOEFL exam. The better our understanding will be of the reading and the listening. And of course, my goodness, if we can use an idiom, one or two idioms, our English language, it comes to life. So we have an opportunity to use idioms in the speaking section. You don't lose marks for not using an idiom, not at all. But it gives us more language to use, and it can really bring our language to life. And English is full of idioms: sports, business, health, personality, relationships. We have idioms for everything. And the more we practice with those, the better our understanding is going to be. The better our understanding, the more opportunity we have to use them and to be a natural English speaker.
You get a better point if you use an idiom in answer.
If the idiom makes your answer clearer, and again, remember, 45 seconds, there's an opportunity to give a clearer answer and to maybe have more time for more details, for example. It can help you reach a higher score. It doesn't mean an automatic higher score, not at all, but we use idioms for a reason, and that reason is we can describe something more quickly and more clearly with a widely understood idiomatic phrase. So they're helpful. They're only helpful if we know what they mean and if we know when and how to use them as well. So we're going to practice those on Friday. I hope you join me. Thank you so much, by the way, for your questions, your discussion, and of course your answers, your practices today. It was really good to hear from all of you. Thank you so much. Keep an eye on me on Verbaling. Thanks to everyone.
Hamish.
Okay, I hope I'll see you again on Friday. Have a great day. I'll see you soon, okay?
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye.